Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight we have some very massive bullish Bitcoin signal from our friends the IRS. this is unusual. Normally we don't get anything bullish from the IRS, but tonight that changes. And I will explain why this news is so massive and bullish, not only for Bitcoin, but for the crypto market overall. And let's look at a few other things as well. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, articles, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. All right. Welcome, guys. To be honest, I'm quite tired tonight, so I'm not sure I'm going to do any Q&A, but I did want to share a few things, including this bullish news from Bitcoin, or from the IRS about Bitcoin. Yeah, I just feel like we need to talk about it. So, looking at Bitcoin, it's above 47,000 once again. And you could see ever since this weird drop from this morning, Bitcoin is slowly coming back up, 47.1, and it's going to push a little bit higher. It was as high as 47.4, right? And it looks like it wants to continue, right? But why? Why is this doing this? Well, a lot of reasons. But tonight, it's been reported this is, it's very unusual. Like I said, we never get any good news from IRS about Bitcoin or crypto, right? But we know recently a lot of FUD about the definition of a broker. And this is according to the infrastructure bill, which you guys, I'm sure by now have heard of before, and how the Senate, unfortunately was not able to add some amendments that would properly define what a broker is. So it's being sent to the House of Representatives, which it can still be amended. But right now, there's a loose and vague definition of what a broker is. And the requirements of a broker, is defined that, an entity that handles financial transactions. They are required to report any transactions over $10,000 and collect KYC information and send it directly to the IRS so that the IRS can track these entities. But a broker is very loosely defined, and people wanted that to be defined better, to exclude the miners and the validators and developers and so forth. But unfortunately, it wasn't able to. The amendments was not able to be pushed through within the Senate. So now we're waiting for that. But here's the thing. It's been leaked out. The U.S. Treasury, the IRS have came out and said, you know what? We're not going to follow what the infrastructure bill declares a broker is. We will determine what a broker is. And according to this source, they will exclude miners and validators and developers. In fact, it states that the source says they will work with separate entities, on a case-to-case basis. But they're not just going off of this vague broker definition that is placed in the infrastructure bill. So overall, this is fantastic. That the IRS, or the U.S. Treasury, Department of Treasury, is coming out and saying, well, you know what? We know there's a lot of talk about what a broker is, and we don't really agree with what's in the infrastructure bill, and we will define it our way. Now, what does our way mean? Well, it seems like it's a lot more fair, and that miners, which are powering to help the network, are excluded. The validators, which are also powering and helping the network, which are excluded. And this includes developers as well. So this is pretty positive. This is very, very positive. So I want to share that right off the bat. And many believe that tonight's pump, or this afternoon's pump, is due to this news. But the surprising thing is when this was being debated in the Senate, the infrastructure bill and amendments and so forth, it didn't really affect Bitcoin. There was a lot of FUD, but it didn't drive Bitcoin down, and I think it's a good reminder for those of us that's in the U.S. that Bitcoin and crypto is worldwide, and whatever is being debated now is in the U.S. alone, right? So there are many, 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 many other countries that have better definitions of what a broker is and have better ways to tax brokers. So it's important to remember that, yeah, there are other countries with different laws and different regulations, and every country is viewing things differently. So even if it turns out to be the worst case scenario within the U.S., well, there's other countries that are not following the same rules. But it's still early, and we have an ally now out of the blue from the IRS, which is very, very unusual. Okay, anyway, so that's the big news of tonight. Besides that, few other things that's pretty good. For example, if you're a stock investor, you may have bought index funds or ETFs that follow the S&P 500. Well, unfortunately, if you've been holding that since 2020 till now, and you look at the performance versus Bitcoin, well, it's abysmal. This is not something that you want. And this is very eye-opening to look at how much Bitcoin has appreciated versus everything else. It has outperformed everything substantially. So had you bought, I don't know, let's say however amount of S&P 500 or something that tracks S&P 500, right? You would have lost basically 0.5 Bitcoins looking at this, starting from 2020 all the way till now. Yeah, so not good. Unless you're a Bitcoin holder. Yes, it's good if you're a Bitcoin holder. And if you don't like things versing Bitcoin, well, what about versing the dollar? It's the same story. Look at that last 5 years, the dollar has devalued itself 98.8% versus BTC. And if you go back a little bit further, it becomes 99.5%, right? So Bitcoin is the asset that we all need to hold because it keeps going up in value and it's decimating the competition, including the USD and the S&P 500 and gold and pretty much anything that is out there as an asset. Bitcoin is dominating everything. All right, let me answer some super chats before I miss some. Scrolling up, yes. Harry can't control himself. Thank you. Thanks for all the streams and updates from on the lower time frames. Appreciate that. What else is there? How can we get a collaboration between Cheapy Crypto and yourself? Again, I don't know who he is. Maybe send me an email. I'll check him out. Car starter. Okay. I have no idea. Crypto rug pull. What you just said there. Joshy Boy says, I love you. That's fantastic. It's good news that deep state organization like IRS can override Congress people. Are you American? Yes. And small caps, cards, OCAM, OG, ANG, C3. Again, crypto rug pull. Those are too many. Too many that I'm not familiar with. And then greatly appreciate the show from Nathan. Appreciate that. All right, last super chat here. Keep up the good work. You saved me thousands during the dip from Australia. I'm glad to hear that. And can we do a quick analysis on Avagachi? How can I buy as a U.S. citizen? Here's the thing. If you don't know where to look up where these altcoins are, you probably should not be getting into them. That's one of the most basic things about buying crypto. you need to know where they're listed. And if you don't know how to find that, then quite honestly, I'm going to be brutally honest, you should not be buying that altcoin. I will talk about Aavegotchi in a little bit, but you really need to know where to find these. All right. What else is there? Bitcoin holdings and ETFs and corporate treasuries. This is also important because it shows that, yes, there is a lot of buying, a lot of institutional buying. And as Bitcoin's price is going up, you could see that, yeah, the ETFs plus corporations, all ETFs, corporations, starting to increase. But this is only the beginning. Only the beginning. These will increase. The more they go up, the less Bitcoins are available, and the more the price will go up. So this is not really a surprise, but I wanted to show you guys that. And according to this article, wealth managers are buying GBTC like crazy. Like crazy. Everyone is coming out either buying Grayscale Bitcoin Trust or they're buying Bitcoin. And the numbers just keep going up and up and up and up. And this is why you need to be in the game. All right. So that is pretty much it. You know, like I said at the beginning, I'm a little tired, so I'm going to do a really quick Q&A, and then let's just end it. So someone mentioned about Aavegotchi, which is a very, it's a very hot, was it the Ghost? It's a hot NFT game, so it's like Tamagotchi. So it's like a virtual pet, but you could battle it within games. You could grow it, and it's doing very well. It's very well. So where could you buy it? Well, here we go. Even on live CoinWatch, it tells you the exchanges, right? So someone asked, hey, where can you buy in the US? Well, you simply look at these exchanges and look at which ones exist and which ones are available for US citizens. And then you could go from there. And if you can't find any centralized exchanges, well, then you should learn how to use Uniswap. But this is one of the most basic things about research. You should research these projects, right? And if you don't know where to buy them from, or you don't even know how to research it, honestly, you're a little bit too green and you need to learn, right? So, Andres, I'm being 100% brutally honest with you. So hopefully that helps you. Just saying ADA small caps are exploding. Okay. ADA has been exploding for quite some time now. And I think it will continue. When do you think OMI will be listed on some big exchanges? I don't know. It should be in the future. Should be, well, obviously in the future, but it should be in the near future because they are such a big powerhouse. And of course, they have all the major licensing. It's not easy to pull off licensing with Marvel and DC and several other, big name brands. So that's pretty tough. So I think it'll be soon. Soon. Joshua says ETH over BTC. Okay. I can't disagree with you. The performance, of course, of ETH has been outperforming Bitcoin, at least within the last year. And it can continue. But that does not mean you should ignore Bitcoin. You should still, I think everyone should have some in their portfolio. Is it too late to get into Illuvium? No. It's not too late to get into anything. Not even a big cap or even Bitcoin. But Illuvium is still small, still getting started, and they have a lot of promise. Someone says, will you be on a show? I did one yesterday. Watch yesterday's show. I did a whole segment about Illuvium last night. What do you think about Bank to the Future? Never liked that project. Never liked that project. It basically helps projects try to create security token offerings. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And also to sell security tokens. I remember Kraken did like a security token offering through them. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The SEC is not going to like any of that. So, all right. Let's do last few questions. Is converting USDC in Coinbase a taxable event? you're converting something to USDC. Yes, it is. VeChain is taking off. Yes, VeChain has been doing better recently, and it continues to go up, and I'm glad to see that. It should be in the top 10, no question. VeChain should be top 10, but I think it's doing well because a lot of the NFT plays and DeFi plays are starting to catch up. For example, I've covered VimWorld, which is actually doing very, very well right now. And of course, VPunks is also doing very, very well. And there's several others. And they're starting to take off. And I think it's having a major effect on VET. But even without those things, VET should be in top 10 just because of the partnerships they have. All right. BitMoon, appreciate it. All right, last few things. When will we buy our first NFT? I don't know. Someone did give me a VPunk recently, and thank you for whoever sent that to me. So at least I own one. Hopefully it'll grow into something that's worth millions in the future. Are you familiar with NII as a layer 2 solution? No, sorry. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. What can you say about Sunday Swap? Wait until Goguen is done. Wait until it's done, and then it'll be worth watching. How's your weekly portfolio doing? It's doing fantastic. It's doing fantastic. Almost 3,000%. I mean, 3,000 profit, but last 30 days, up 70%. 70% within the last 30 days. You tell me who has beaten that. This is simple strategy, guys. Buying the right projects, DCAing, and that's it. It's not very complex, right? But over the last 30 days, up 70%. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And the last 7 days, 15.5%. So it is doing really, really well. Really well. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I'll let you guys go. You know what? Bitcoin is on its way up. And the IRS, on an unlikely ally, I guess, just gave up some really, really, really good news about the infrastructure bill FUD, about the definition of a broker, right? It seems like they're clearing up the air, and that is fantastic. But overall, besides the IRS and their good news, there's just a lot of stuff going on, guys. Pay attention to what's happening. Everything is devaluing itself against Bitcoin because of how strong it is. Everyone wants a piece. Everyone is buying. And when Bitcoin does well, the entire market does well, and it's going to head, both of them are going to head higher. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right?